Hey you guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kirsty, and today I am doing some knotless box braids on myself. I'm starting off on freshly cleaned and washed, blow-dried, detangled hair. I'm going to be using my rat tail comb to help me part my hair, and I'm going to be using a couple other products to slay these braids. So with knotless box braids, I learned that you want to have really neat parts. It's best that you take your time with your parting. If you're braiding on somebody else, make sure you take your time when you're parting on them. So what you want to do is you could make your initial part, then you take your gel, you're going to swipe the gel over your line that you made, then go back in with your rat tail comb and just start parting. So you're going to take your gel, a really stronghold gel, and you're going to apply it to your section that you parted. With regular knotless box braids, you start with your real hair. So you go 1, 2, and you grab and you go 3 and 4. Okay? So then you take your first piece of braiding hair and you're going to hold it with your pinky, then slip it between your pointed finger and thumb, grab your hair, and then go 5, 6, pull the hair down. Okay, now you're going to grab your next piece of hair, and you saw how I pulled on my real hair just to reinforce what we did. You want to make it a little bit tight because you don't want it to come loose. I think that's like 8, right, 9, 10, pull it down, pull. Okay, and then you're going to add your third piece. Now, with knotless box braids, the method is to create a box braid, but create it without the knot. There are some pros and cons to this, which I will list in the next video because you guys already know I'm going to do a review of this style. But as you can see, you guys, there is less tension. It looks natural, like it's coming from the root, and it's not pulling at all, and it's very flexible. Now, initially when I started braiding my hair with these knotless braids, this was my first time doing it, testing out the method. I'm looking at it and I'm seeing all this space, but sometimes you're optimistic. Well, a lot of times I'm optimistic and hopeful. So, sometimes the first 4 braids may not look the best, but as I continue braiding, it looks good, This does look good. When I watched the footage, it looked good, but in my eyes and as I was braiding, I didn't like how it looked. I felt like my parting could have been more even. I could have maybe done something better to make it all look good. So I went ahead and I completed a second row, right? I get to my third row and I do my parting and I actually do some braids on the third row, and then I'm not loving how it was turning out. Again, this was my first attempt on doing it on myself, and I just wasn't feeling it. I felt like there was so much space, so I decided to take down all of pretty much half my head. I took down half my head. I went back to work the next day, right? And then I said, okay, we're gonna try this again. Okay, so I figured out how to do it for myself, right? I felt like the braids were a little loose, plus I felt like there was too much space. The braids were the size that I wanted, but it just felt like there was too much space. Looking back at the footage, they look good, but I felt like the parting could have been neater. It could have been a lot more structured. So here we go. This is second attempt. So as you can see, that first row, it's much neater than before. So I'm following my same methods. I'm going to take my comb. I'm making my rough draft of my part. Then I'm going to follow up with the gel. I'm going to swipe it on that line. Okay. Now a tip that I want to give you guys when you're parting for your box braids, part down the middle of your section that you made. This is going to help you have an even amount of braids on your entire head for each side. Today I'm going to be using this pre-stretched hair. The brand is called Sepia. I found it in the beauty supply store. I just loved the green. I loved the transition, how it goes from the dark green to this very vibrant lime green on the end. So I chose this color and it was pre-stretched, so that definitely was a nice plus. So when you are separating your hair for this style, you are going to take 3 pieces. Now your first piece is going to be a little bit smaller, okay, than your other 2 pieces. So you want to make sure it's not too thick, because if it's too thick and you don't have enough hair, in that section, like your real hair, if you don't have enough hair, it's just not going to blend well. So you're going to take your first piece. It is pretty thin, and then you're going to take your second piece, make it slightly bigger. Then you're going to take your third piece and you're going to make it a slightly bigger, or the same size as your second piece. Now I'm just showing you guys an up close view of how I separate that hair. It's fairly easy to do once you actually do it, and having a thread rack or some kind of area to place your hair so you can just pull and go is going to make this style more efficient. Now, as you can see, I placed the hair down, but I noticed that this piece on the end was a little bit thinner than the other piece. So I'm just going to switch them around and make that my second piece of hair that I feed in. So that is what I did to prepare my hair for these braids. Now I'm just going to line up my thread rack. I will put the link in the description box below. I purchased it on Amazon, and so can you. Alrighty, so you're going to take your hair and you're just going to go ahead and line up your thread rack. This is going to make your braiding process so much faster. I want to let you guys know that I did go ahead and start my hair, for the second time. So let's get right into that. Okay, so you're going to jump right in with your parting. I am doing the bricklaying parting. Same style of parting that I was doing on my first attempt. I just made sure that I made sure that I had more parts than I, generally wanted to. I'm going to be using the Style Factor Edge Booster. This is a stronghold gel. It smells like peaches, and you can purchase this in Texas. You're going to take your gel and apply it to your area that you are going to braid. Now, this is early on in my second attempt. I was separating each square like this into 3. And watch what I'm going to do with my braiding hair. So I am going to take my first piece of braiding hair and I'm going to attach it to the 2 outer pieces of my real hair and go 1, right, 2, okay, 3, and 4. And it's the same knotless, it's just that I used a piece of braiding hair to kind of give me a little bit more security and reinforcement when I did the knotless braids. So it's still knotless because, those 2 outer pieces are kind of like covering the braiding hair that we used. So you still follow the same technique. You're going to apply your second piece, and then you're going to grab your third piece, hold it with your pinky, slip it between your pointed finger and your thumb, and then you're going to continue that same braid process. Okay, you pull to reinforce everything that you just did, and then you braid down. So as you can see, it's still a knotless braid. I just did a different technique to start off the braid. It doesn't leave a knot. It didn't leave a knot for me at all. And I can still put my hair in a bun, the same thing. So I have a different way that I, did it. And I'm pleased to say that it worked. And I loved how my braids came out. So let's move right along. As you guys can see, this is kind of what I'm doing. I section off my pieces of hair, and I section off, like the odd piece, right? And I clip it away and then I braid. So I'm going to give you guys another angle just so you can see a little bit closer. So you're going to apply your gel all over the area that you are going to braid. Now again, I'm using that Style Factor Edge Booster. And I'll tell you guys that gel, yes, it is exactly what you need to have a strong hold, right? But you want to be a little bit less generous with it because it will leave a little bit of a white residue if you use too much. So here we go. So remember I separated my hair at first, Well, watch this. I'm going to take my braiding hair and I'm going to just separate the hair while I have the braiding hair in my hand. So it just is already connected. So that's 1. And I'm just going to start braiding. Watch this. 2. those two pieces are connected, right? And then you got your middle piece still separate. All right, so now you want to go ahead and move right along. You already did 2, right? This is your 3rd movement. And then you're going to do 1 more. I'm just getting some gel on my fingers to reinforce everything. Okay, and this is 4. Okay, and then pull to reinforce, and then get your 2nd piece of braiding hair. And you're going to hold it with your pinky, one end, and then slip the other end between your pointer finger and thumb. And you're going to do 5. Okay. 6. Grab that hair, and you're going to blend it in. And then you're going to take your last piece of braiding hair. This is your 3rd piece. You're going to do that same process. Okay, you're going to slip it through. And then you're going to go, 1. And then flip it over. Then you're gonna go 2. When I say 2, you grab that piece and then go under. And then you're gonna just attach it. So once you got that all done, like I said, you pull just a little bit to reinforce, and then you just begin braiding on down. And I just tapped a little bit of the white residue that was popping up at the base of the knot. As you guys can see, look at how flawless this braid is. I am definitely impressed with the knotless technique. I definitely love the reduced tension. Like, I could put my hair in a bun. I did every style possible on the first day of wearing it. I wore it in a bun, ponytail, low ponytail. I did everything. I flipped it on each side. And look at this. So once you're done braiding, you want to go ahead and finish up your ends. Okay, you don't want to braid all the way down. If you have somebody to help you braid all the way down, while you are parting and all that, that's great. Have them do that. But go ahead and get all your parts done. Do all of your parts with your braiding hair. And don't braid all the way down, okay? That's a little tip to save you some time. And look at how beautiful these braids turned out. Again, you guys, I was a little apprehensive at first because I thought they were too thin, but I just love the flexibility. I love the way that they look. I love the movement. I'm not in pain. I am loving them. Thank you guys for watching this video on these knotless box braids. Comment down below if you're going to be trying these anytime soon, or if you have already tried them, and let me know what was your experience. You guys follow me on Instagram, kirsty.petrie, for more braid content. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Stay channeling the beauty that's within inside of you. Bye.